Please subscribe to Facetv Africa and turn the notification on. Facetv Africa, ẹ jọ̀ọ́, subscribe, hete.
Face TV was Swoby.
Pregnant woman dies as doctors down tools in Nasarawa. NMA strike. Medical services have been paralyzed across all the 19 general hospitals, including Dahatu Araf Specialist Hospital, Lafia, owned by Nasarawa state government, following a 5-day warning strike declared by the Nigerian Medical Association, NMA, in the state. Addressing journalists in Lafia, the state capital, on Wednesday, Dr. Peter Atta, the NMA chairman, explained that the association resolved to embark on the 5-day warning strike owing to the state government's inability to meet up their demands. The state's NMA hinted that the strike will commence at 8 a.m. on Wednesday, July the 5th, and will end on Monday, July the 10th, 2023, at 8 a.m. The association had earlier gave 21-day strike optimum to the Nasarawa state government to press home its demands. A pregnant woman who was booked by the hospital for cesarean section died while waiting for doctors to attend to her. Patients, particularly those in critical conditions, were seen being evacuated to private facilities and nearby states for continuation of medical attention. A visible worried Malam Abubakar Liman, whose pregnant wife had just died while waiting for the arrival of doctors to carry out cesarean section on her, narrated they decided to stay back due to their inability to afford the medical bills at the private hospitals. Malam Liman, who said he had accepted the death of his wife and unborn child as act of God, appealed to the state government to urgently meet the demands of the doctors in the interests of the less privileged. The officials of the Nigerian Medical Association, led by the state chairman, Dr. Atta Peter, were seen going round all sections of the hospitals to ensure full compliance to the strike.
The Congress has actually already decided, even yesterday, that there will be a monetary team that will supervise and walk around and supervise DASH. That's the only tertiary institution in the state, and all the 19 general hospitals. In fact, as at this morning, the strike monetary teams distributed across the state were communicated to our member. And there are clear consequences, like I've said. It is an NMA strike. Any of our members that defaulted, they will face the consequences up to the level that we can pursue them, and they will appear before the Medical and Dental Council, a regulatory agency for the doctors in the country. They will face the consequences because it's like contributing to the poor health indices in the state. Because, like I've mentioned to you, this is basically one of the things. And if we're talking about curbing Japa syndrome, it is actually one of it. So the members know very well that there are committee, even the state disciplinary committee and the national disciplinary committee has been activated already. So they're just waiting for the defaulter. If we have any defaulter, if the strike monetary teams across the state found any defaulter, the first punitive measure is that the person will pay a fine in terms of monetary one that will be deducted from the source, and then refer to the disciplinary committee for them to take an action. Basically, that's what is happening. Now, for that divider rule, using indigent and non-indigent, I've just mentioned earlier that government, in their own decision, they will tell you that they don't have enough indigenous doctors. That is why they are not working in the state. The state at the moment, if and I have the statistic of the indigenous doctors that they're actually from Nasarawa state by origin, but we have a platform. Around 300 doctors are indigenous doctors based on the record I have. But out of these 300 doctors, you have less than 50 of them working in the state. So it's to actually tell you that it is not an issue of indigent, because if it is an issue of indigent, these some people will come back home. The environments are not there, like I've told you. The environment is so hostile. So, but the few ones that are actually on ground shouting, whether indigent or non-indigent, these are people that actually mean well for the health of the citizen. Let me be very frank. In the last 6 months to June 30th, we have 88 doctors that have left the state. And most of those people that left the state, usually they don't even shout. They come to our Congress meeting like this and remain quiet. But if you see those ones shouting and insisting that government needs to work on, those are actually people that mean well and they want to remain in the state and provide service delivery. So for those one, we have gone past that because it is an issue of being objective. And so for us, yesterday's decision was a unanimous decision. There were not even, when the motion was moved for the strike, it was a unanimous decision. So nobody, they won't be able to actually get it this time around. They can only go on media for blackmail, but it will not deter us. We have had this kind of thing during the tenure of Andrea between 2007 and 2011, where they portrayed that. We remain very resilient. Myself and Dr. Musa, we were the champion that insisted that the circular should be implemented. Are we not from the state? I'm also from the state. So the idea of even saying non-needed and non-indigenous, the people living in this tribe are actually the indigenous, because we feel the health of our brothers and sisters in the state. Governments are not really prioritizing it. And then unfortunately, again, you realize people that are shouting about the citizen and non-citizen, they're actually also doctors of natural state extraction. But most of them, since the creation of the state, they refuse to come to work in the state. They only come up to take up the positions of governance and then mislead the government. So for us, that will not work. We have commenced a 5 days warning strike this morning from 8 o'clock to Monday 8 o'clock. And by Monday 8 o'clock, we'll still convene another emergency meeting to reappraise this within these 5 days government level of sincerity in looking into the issues. If progress has been made, the Congress might reconsider so that we can resume on Monday 8 o'clock. If not, as a SEC member, who will see wait for the whether by Monday the 5 days warning strike they want to extend it or whatever happens. So basically what we are telling you is that our services across the facility where Nasarawa State government owns, our services has been withdrawn from 8 o'clock this morning till 8 o'clock on Monday. Now this is not like a fight with the government or with the citizens of the state, but this is also the Nigerian Medical Association Nasarawa State chapter's strike action. We decided that it is the Nasarawa State government that has failed in their responsibility in doing this. And so we will not have asked our colleague working with the federal government and working with the federal medical center. So what we do is to take into cognizance the health of the citizen and actually being empathy to the citizens of the state. And we have actually directed our colleague working with the federal medical center to continue to provide services within this period. Now going forward, from Monday, we are not so sure what will happen if there were not any genuine conversation and sincerity from the government. The Congress might decide to even ask our colleague working with the Federal Medical Center to also join us in the strike. And so for us, for now, we are urging the citizens to actually, and the good citizens of Nasarawa State to actually impress on the government to actually do the needful. Whatever that we're asking, that we have mentioned, the amount is so meager that it can never affect the government. Let me even tell you something that happened. The first meeting, we had meeting twice with them. The first meeting that we had, what they told us was that they are pleading with us. That's on the 20th of June. That the allocation that has came to the state in May and in April, it was going down. And that very day on the June 20th, the State Accountant General was in a meeting in Abuja for the FAC distribution. That we will have another meeting on Monday, which is 26th. And by that Monday, if the allocation from the Federation account has increased, they will implement. Now, let me tell you, the allocation that was actually distributed in June, that they were all waiting for, increased by over 200 billion. It is a documented this because the chairman of the forum addressed the media and he said for that month, it was over 200 billion, more than the month of May. So we expected that Nasarawa State government has actually gotten more money in the month of June than May and April. So the idea of even just coughing out 90 million naira or 89 million naira to pay this amount of money, we feel it is a meager thing. It is just prioritizing whether healthcare delivered in the state is a priority of the government or not. That just won't happen. And for us, all these things were put into cognizance. And I remember look at it and feel governments the government is not really sincere in handling this issue. And so obviously it is not there. And that is why they have gone ahead and said our services should be withdrawn for the next 5 days. So thank you very much.
Please subscribe to Face TV Africa and turn the notification on. Face TV Africa, subscribe, hete.
Face TV was Swoby.